In this video, I'm going to quickly walk through how I created this piece of artwork. Hello everyone, if you're new here, welcome. Today's video is a quick one explaining how I went from this to this. Okay, so first, the frustrating part, finding stock images. By the way, all the images used in this edit are from Unsplash and Adobe Stock. Once I masked everything out and put them in place, I got this. I knew I wanted things to be very dark with green highlights, so I started making everything darker using a bunch of exposure adjustment layers and clipping masks. The island background was kinda distracting me though, so I altered the levels and added a solid gradient over it set to lighten. I then desaturated the water and added a solid gradient over it set to linear light. It felt like a bit much, but once the characters were back in place, it was alright. I then went back and changed the colours of each rock using either a hue and saturation, colour balance, or selective colour adjustment layer depending on the rock. The same was done to the robot and the characters. I then masked out the glass helmets and painted in some new ones using a light green soft brush. Beautiful! For the lights, I used a solid green colour fill set to linear dodge add and painted over the lights using a mask. I then duplicated that layer with a new mask and painted a larger area of glow using a low flow brush. I then made both sides of the walls greener and added a slight blur. To create more distance, I used a few solid colour layers, each with a different shade of green, and painted in some mist on the masks. The robot's lights still weren't bright enough though, so I added a hue and saturation adjustment layer, set it to linear dodge add, and painted in some more areas. Now for the highlights. If you're not sure how to do these, I highly suggest checking out Benny Productions' video, which I will link in the description. So I first did the robot, then the rocks, and finally the characters. As you can see, the difference between highlights and no highlights is massive, so I really do suggest taking your time with these, they're really worth it. I then added some shadows to the water and to the bottom of the rocks. I also added some faint clouds to the sky. Then I painted over the red thingy things on the guns and applied a glow using a solid colour set to linear dodge add, and of course added some additional highlights. To give it some atmosphere, I added some particles in the mist, some bokeh and some light green particles in the air. And finally it was time to apply a camera raw filter, and here is the end result. If you liked this video, please let me know by leaving a like or a comment, and if you enjoy my overall content, feel very free to subscribe. I hope I'll see you in my next video. Bye!